The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on July 2nd, 2024.
It's time now for Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And now, here's your host, the president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, Pam Toompop. Good morning, Pam.
Hi, Gary. Aloha. I'm great. How are you today?
Just another beautiful Maui morning.
The sun is shining here. I'm grateful. Well, thank you for all you do to get our show started and running each week. We so appreciate you. And welcome to our guests listening to Business Matters this morning. Today, we are going to have a great morning. We're going to talk about a local farm called Napili Flow Farm. And, you know, in so many of our discussions these days, we keep talking about how important agriculture is. And, of course, we lost some major agricultural players in the Great Recession with HC&S and with Maui Pineapple Company. And so, you know, Mahi Pono is doing a lot of planting these days. But there are so many amazing small farms that are doing phenomenal things. So today we're going to talk to Monica Bogar of Napili Flow Farm. And later in the show, we're going to speak with Jennifer Takayesu, the account manager of Aloha International Employment. There are many questions about people getting back to work. Where is our unemployment at? You know, and where are the workers? So many businesses have jobs available, and Aloha International Employment can help with that. So we're going to talk to Jennifer a little later on. But it's my great pleasure to tell you a little bit about Monica Bogar. She is with Napili Flow Farm. It is located on the west side of Maui and was created in 2011 as an urban family farm. Created by Monica, she is the owner of the farm, and she was born and raised in that same area. We were just talking earlier about our families in that area, and she is known for being a serial entrepreneur, mom, farmer, and has owned numerous businesses from restaurants to gift stores in Lahaina on Front Street in the 1990s. She has connected with her mom's culture and following the idea of making food with good and healthier intentions. She started to learn the techniques to know how to cook, harvest, and create family recipes that are the highest quality and healthier products for the Hawaiian community. So, Monica, good morning and welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Good morning. Thank you. We're excited to be here.
I am just so fascinated by your background and all the things that you've been accomplishing for a number of years. So, before we talk a little bit about, tell us a little bit about being a serial entrepreneur and some of the things that you did on Front Street in the 90s.
Well, that was actually my mom. I was raised by the serial entrepreneur. She had restaurants, gift stores, and did really well in the 90s. And so growing up, I got to watch her do her thing. And now I guess I could say, following her footsteps, but from a different angle. I think all of her businesses supported the community, but as well as the visitors that came to Maui.
This is just an amazing thing that you're doing. So let's talk a little bit. You got started in 2011 as an urban family farm. Tell us a little bit for those who aren't familiar with how we characterize an urban family farm. What does the farm look like? If somebody were to come and visit, what are the kinds of things they'd see in your urban family farm?
Yeah, so I got pregnant with my youngest son, who's now 13, and decided that I didn't want to go back to work for anyone. And I decided that I was going to turn my home into a farm, which was located on Hui F Road in Napili. And if you can imagine, Napili now is surrounded by condos, high-end condos, hotels, and some restaurants and businesses. And so it wasn't your ideal spot to farm, but I was able to utilize a lot of the county land, if you will. We lived right next to a gulch, and it wasn't being used, and they were always constantly weed whacking and mowing just to keep the fire break down. So I decided to fence them off and put some goats and pigs and chickens just to keep the weeds from growing back, and then also to sustain our family with food. But the business part of the farm was microgreens, edible flowers, and aquaponics. So I took those three things and was able to utilize a very small property, but make a profit and sell to most of the restaurants and hotels. Fast forward, though, we relocated to upcountry Maui just a few months ago. We had purchased a new farm, and we are located actually 5 minutes outside of Makawao. So that space was amazing to start because it allowed me to basically make errors on a small footprint. But now we're on 2.5 acres, and I'm using the same technique and methods that I did in Napili, but we're on a bigger scale now so that we can provide more food and a place for people to come and learn and hopefully inspire other people to do what we're doing.
That's amazing. So you're now open in your farm in Makawao. Where is that farm located?
Actually, we're 5 minutes outside of Makawao. It's at the top of Kokomo, which is in the Haiku district, but we're closer to the Makawao side.
Makawao. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. On Kokomo Road. And can people just, what are your hours? Can people just stop by, or is there certain hours
so
you're
we
available?
just got the keys to the property back in March, and we are, we are pounding and going and grinding to get it ready for the community. We just remodeled one of the homes that is on the property that was it was built in 1938. So if you can imagine. So we literally just finished this project and is now settled in, and we're getting ready to open up to the community here this month. We're going to be doing some volunteer work days to have the people help us and include them in our journey to see what it takes to build a farm from ground up. We were blessed to have purchased a property that is already kind of like a plug-and-play farm. It already has pasture fenced in and already existing fruit trees. So we're not entirely starting from scratch, but we're incorporating our style with their already landscape existing.
Well, I love hearing about the pasture fence. I've bought some land in Kula, and of course the access there are tremendous. So how are you doing with deer out there?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How are you on Kokomo? How are you doing? How's the deer out there? Is the fence enough in keeping them away?
We're lucky so far. We haven't had any deer problems come into our property, but they're right all alongside our fence line. Our fence isn't it's probably 4 or 5 feet tall. And now they're saying you need to go like 10 to 12 feet to keep them out. But so far we're on a hill. We're not getting any of them destroying our farm yet.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it, because they have been just such a...
it's definitely a problem.
Yeah. Wow. So this is another very big journey for you. To go from that area to 2.5 acres. And congratulations on finding that property and getting that property. I so love it when we have local families buying our upcountry farmland.
We're very, very blessed. And all of our neighbors have been here their whole life, and they're very happy and been very welcoming for us and supportive for us. And it feels like we've been here forever, but we also have a long journey for us to keep growing.
Yes. Well, like you, I'm learning a lot about what it takes. And just even grading and managing the land, it takes a lot to just even get started. So good. That is so exciting for you.
Thank you.
So tell us now, with what are you planning on growing up there now? You mentioned you're going to make it your own. You've got some fruit trees that are up there and utilizing what's currently there. You're going to continue to grow the edible flowers and the microgreens. And
so our goal and our mission here is to really open up a safe place for other farmers. I currently am working with Maui Farmer Support Network. And, in a few words, we are farming farmers, small farmers like myself. We're a support group that helps with resourcing and networking because, as we know, it is hard. And we're trying to bring back that community vibe of help me, help you, help us. And so this is basically going to be a safe place for all of us to gather and to practice all the different ways of small farming, big farming, just farming and growing more sustainable, regenerative ag. And so, we're going to touch up on everything I've done in the past, but it's really more of a place. And we're not going to be so focused on selling our produce, but it's not saying we're not going to sell our produce. It's more of a place to grow farmers and support our farmers. So every technique, every type of different types of farming, aquaponics, microgreens, regenerative ag, mulching, and all those things will be utilizing and also helping our community to get involved. We're really just focused on really building community and almost like retraining the community to shop or look for your food sources near you. Our farm stand is going to be something where that's going to attract our community to bring them closer to our farm to understand what we're doing and to invite them to be a part of it.
I love that. Yeah, I love the elementary farm stand.
Yeah, we're so trained to go to Costco, and not to say I don't go to Costco. We love Costco, but we really want to bring back knowing your farmers in your area and then supporting our small farmers because it is a big deal. We need to balance out our regenerative agriculture and small farmers as well with the big box stores and big farmers. And just really understanding and knowing who's growing your food and what goes into it.
I think that's really important. And I love that you are working so hard on the health of the farming industry. I years ago was working on a grant and to help our Maui onion growers, the famous Maui onion. And I remember then that many of the farmers, and this was 20 years ago, so many of the farmers were in their 60s.
Yeah.
And a lot of our farmers, worked so hard to send their kids off to college and knew how difficult farming was. And so now we have a lot of aging farmers. And it's great to know that you're part of a system that's helping to grow new farmers and helping to teach people.
I was told that I have a way of glamorizing this hard work. I think another thing we have to unlearn is that hard work isn't such a daunting, bad thing. I think being able to know how to utilize your own hands and your body to make things happen is also still a beautiful thing and rewarding. And I think it also helps to give us a sense of self-worth after a long, hard day of work. It actually really feels good. And I'm trying to bring that back, if you will, making old school cool again, if you will. I think that a lot of us have been trained and told that, hard work.
I think that's awesome. I'm really excited about it. My daughter moved home a while back, and one of the things we had got her for Christmas was an aquaponics system. And she loves her aquaponics system. And we're all having great healthy salads and onions and all sorts of fabulous things. Broccoli took a little longer, but, all the lettuces and tomatoes and everything just popped right up. And there's something so rewarding in growing your own food and cooking with your own food. And you also talked a little bit about that in your bio, is that you've learned how to cook. Can you share some of the things that you that you like to cook from what you grow, and how do you integrate your children in this?
Yeah, what's funny is I didn't think I ever wanted to be like my parents, and we really didn't see eye to eye for most like growing up, as most kids and parents. But subconsciously, I picked up a lot more than I realized. And my mom and my dad were really good cooks, but my mom especially was taught us a lot about what we put in our mouth is going to affect us in our bodies and our mind and our health. And that really stuck with me. And so my inspiration and motivation really comes from how she raised us around food. And she always had a little garden. We always had the basics, no matter where we were. And we get inspired by our harvest. So if in season, if the lettuce was going or the cucumbers, we would make lettuce wraps. It's a very popular Korean, dish, and cucumber kimchi and things like that. So I follow in that same footsteps as whatever is in peak harvest ripeness and like the best at the moment. That's what inspires me to cook. I love everything, all the foods. I'm really a big, huge foodie, and so was my mom. And so it's hard to say like what our favorite is. It's really whatever is in season and at the best of its ripeness is what we get inspired to cook. Anything homegrown, home raised, and harvested is always our favorite.
I would agree. It's just changed our lives too. I mean, it's just so fresh. It's hard to explain.
And it's a process. I think what I really fell in love with watching them make kimchi or watching people harvest anything, it's the process that we fell in love with, and then the reward was the finished product.
Yeah. And you get inspired to come up with new recipes because you've got this great product, and you're saying, okay, what can I do different with this today?
In abundance, as you know, as a farmer or when you're growing a garden, everything comes in at once. So food conservation is a huge one for sustainability. And with our heritage being Korean, kimchi pickling is, for us, like a no-brainer. Like that's what we do. But there's also dehydrating. There's, just making it last longer because it all comes in at once and you don't want to eat it all day, every day. So learning how to barter with it, learning how to, make it into something that we can utilize for later has been a big practice of ours.
Now, do you have a kimchi product? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We were in about 10 stores and most of the restaurants a few years ago. And then once we sold my family home in Napili and moved up country, everything kind of came to a stop, focusing on relocating and, trying to find the right place for us to set some roots again. But just recently, about a year ago, we are teaming up with Koha Foods, who is based in Oahu, one of the larger importers of Asian foods, and they also do kimchi. They are now going to help me manufacture our kimchi, and we're just about ready to relaunch. And our first stores will be in Foodland, as well as all of the restaurants and hotels that we were affiliated prior to stopping. And so we're hoping by the end of this year that we will be back on the shelves in the stores with our kimchi.
What will that brand be so that we can be looking out for that?
It's the Napili Flow Farm Kimchi.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be awesome. Oh, we're big kimchi fans up here. I grew up with a Korean uncle, and so I've been eating kimchi since I was like 10. I love it. I absolutely
our kimchi is vegan and has no MSG, and as much as possible, we source from our local regenerative farmers still.
Yeah, and on that note, I know one of the things that's really important to you is, again, building farming back and looking at regenerative farming and getting more people involved in that. What do you see from your experience now, having done this, working in a great cooperative with people who are supporting each other? It seems like we've got just the perfect ecosystem that's continuing to build. Now, what do you see as the future for Maui on regenerative farming?
Well, I just try to take it one day at a time. We're not gonna take over Mahi Pono or anything like that. I think the encouraging part for me is every person who has land, even something small, even if they're renting, if everyone is participating in just a small garden, I think that'll make a huge impact.
Yes.
I
agree.
It's hard for me to see if, regenerative ag being as big as like some of the corporation farmers, but if everybody does their little bit in composting and growing a garden in a small plot wherever they are, even if it's a 5x5 garden to 20x20, I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And that's my hope, is that even just someone who thinks that they can't grow some green onions, one of the easier crops, and utilize their own crop for their dishes, for their food, their meals.
Yeah.
I feel like that can make a huge impact.
I agree. And it's so much fun when you do it. And the other thing is, I think it's just great for children, and I think it's great for people who are struggling with other things, because there's such immediacy in terms of seeing the return on your labor investment. Plants grow so quickly. You can be so proud of, wow, I put this effort in, and look how quickly this is giving back.
Yeah, and it's also good for the soul, and it's also good to ground and remember, why we're working so hard. It just brings it back home, and I think a lot of people have to leave their home to go to work, have to leave their home to go take the kids to go do all of their schooling and after school activities, that when you have a garden, when you're eating from your garden, it brings it back home, and it helps to reconnect everything of why we're running around so crazy,
Yeah.
Remembering our whys, so why we do what we do. And I feel like being a part of, raising animals or your garden, it really helps to bring that back.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And even for folks in small spaces, even if you have an apartment or a condo, there are some really phenomenal little aquaponic systems that you can put in that don't take up much space at all. And that's what we did in the beginning
of Napili Flow Farm, is we set up a lot of small aquaponic systems in the condos on the west side. We were able to build aquaponics that was higher up, so the kupunas didn't have to bend over, and they moved them over from having to dig the soil into just having a waist high system that they didn't have to work so hard to just harvest and the planting and all of that. So we did a pretty huge system for the KOR, and then all the way down to we did Maui Prep School and a bunch of homes there on the west side, just to help people understand that you can grow anywhere. You don't even need soil.
Boy, that's fantastic. I love hearing that. And I love hearing about getting the kids involved at Maui Prep. That's phenomenal. Well, you are a dynamo. Thank you so much, Monica, for all that you're doing and sharing and giving back to the community who helped raise you. And now up country, we're so grateful to have you up country. I currently live in Pukalani, but we've got some land in Kula, and it's farming is very near and dear to all of our hearts up here, and just love that you are working in such a collaborative way to help people be a part of it.
Yeah, we're really excited. As we've been through a couple crises now, I think people understand, and it's fun and all, but it's also, most importantly, it's important, because during crisis, our farmers are the ones that helped us get through it. Being that we, are on an island and everything's getting shipped in, it's really important to know our ranchers, our farmers, our fishermen, and anybody who's, growing or raising food locally, because that's what's going to really matter at the end of the day when things go sideways, is where our food is coming from, because nothing else matters once it's shut down. So it's been a goal of mine for a while, and we're, it is our mission, and we're going to continue to at least teach our community how to live more sustainable, or at the very least to introduce them to the people who are doing it and to support those people.
I think it's phenomenal. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on our show this morning. I can't wait to hear, a little later this month, things are going to start opening up in Mosswell and Kokomo Road. We'll look forward to big announcements when you're doing that. Please let us know at the Maui Chamber when you're ready for that.
Yeah, as we're ready to get people and volunteers on the farm, we'll definitely hit you up, and we can let the people know what our hours and operations are.
I'm in. I can come up on the weekend.
Okay, perfect. Noted.
I'm in. So yes, please let us know. We'll help promote that. Very exciting. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too. Thanks for having us on the show.
Our pleasure. Aloha.
Aloha.
Wow, it's just so exciting to talk to Monica and hear all of the amazing things she's doing. I can't wait to go up and see the new location. I'm going to have Gary get our next guest on the show, Jennifer Takayesu of Aloha International Employment. And while she is coming online, just want to let you know that on July 12th, we are having the Chamber's big summer celebration, and it is a great time to network with our members. We have some promotional booths. We are thrilled to have Mayor Bisson be our keynote address, who will also induct our new board of directors. It's an exciting time to get to know the Chamber. You're going to also hear from Southwest, who is our title sponsor, so we want to hear more about Southwest Airlines. You're going to get to learn about some of the members with their promotional booths, and you're going to get to connect with a lot of business people and network with them. People often say, gosh, sometimes when I come to a Chamber event, I run into 4 or 5 people on my call list, and I get everything done in an hour before the actual event even starts. It's always a blast with the summer celebration, and you'll learn a little bit more about the Chamber. There's a lot more than we do than networking and fun, but we run to do networking and fun as well. So if you can join us, please just go to www.mauichamber.com. Ticket information is available. Sponsorship information is available. Promotional booth information is available. Join us for a great time. This is open to all businesses who are, you don't have to be a Chamber member to attend. If you want to just come and learn more about it or promote your business. So please join us. And we're also thrilled to say that the applications are now closed currently for this November's annual Made in Maui County Festival. We had an overwhelming response by the application deadline. We are going to put up a place where people who can still register late if they choose, but we want to be very honest and pretty direct that with the response we got, it's highly unlikely that we would look at the backup list because, it is a juried show and not every applicant from the responses we've already received will get in. But we've had a lot of calls after the deadline, and so you can still connect and just go to our website. We will have a place where late applicants can still apply if they want to be considered, for any overflow. If there's any dropouts or any overflow as our backup list, if they want to be considered for that, you can still register for that. And Gary, do we have Jennifer on?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Well, let me give Jennifer a quick introduction. I have known Jennifer for many years. Jennifer Takayesu is the Senior Account Manager for Aloha International Employment, and she has been working with what they call AIE, Aloha International Employment, for the past 17 years. She manages over 100 client accounts, along with their 1,400 employees. She has a knack for dealing with difficult situations, including difficult people. I will say that she is the sweetest person ever, always super kind, and a lot of fun to be with. She is currently the Vice President for BNI No Koi chapter in Kihei, along with being an active board member for Maui United Way since 2018. She was born and raised on Maui, graduated from King Kekeoliki. She currently lives in Kula with her fiance and 2 boys, ages 17 and 11. And her oldest son is currently attending high school in Roy, Utah, to pursue an education and football opportunity. So now traveling has become a huge part of their parenting recently. So welcome, Jennifer. It's great to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Oh, I know I'm going to get to see you on the 12th. We're glad that you're able to come to the event, and I was excited to get to talk to you this morning as well.
Yeah, for sure. We always love those chamber events.
We always love having you. You and your crew make it so much fun, and everybody's always dying to know about Aloha International Employment. Can you share? I think sometimes people think about employment services, but I don't think they often get the broad breadth of the kinds of services that you offer and how you can assist both individuals and businesses.
Right. I know a lot of people, I still feel a lot of companies don't know what, like a PEO service or employment services are available to them. And Aloha International offers like 2 different services where we're either, staffing, so clients who need employees, they can call us and we can go through resumes and make sure that we're sending them applicants that they are, meet their qualifications instead of them looking on their own and having to parse through all of these resumes and figuring out if they're even qualified for that position. Which can be, time consuming, especially when you need to fill that position. So that's our staffing side. And then we have our PEO side where, we become your human resource and payroll service so that we can keep all these small companies in compliance, make sure that they're abiding by laws with payrolls and having employees because they're ever so changing, those laws.
It's amazing, and I know that when you are the PEO, and for folks who aren't familiar, that it's like a professional. How do you call it? Professional employer
organization.
Employer organization. So when you're serving in that capacity, I know you've helped many businesses, including businesses I've been a part of. Really be that HR, help to manage the employee issues, help to manage when you've hired somebody and you find out they don't have documentation, help to manage conflicts within employees or challenges that they're having, or manage the medical and making sure the payroll is all done on time and the employer. So it's seamless and that it's so easy for the employer, and then you've got it covered from there. That takes a huge load off of
these companies start their business to focus on their passion, and what their passion is, what their business does. Their passion is not making sure that they know all of these, little laws and all these things that they have to, keep in mind. They want to focus on what they enjoy to do.
That's right. And they often don't have the staff to do all of the things they need to comply with the regulations. So that's a huge challenge, and that's something, payroll taxes and all the things that have to get paid, and then there's money set aside for the different things that employees might have options to do, maybe set aside money for their 401k or the retirement program that somebody might have. And somebody has to manage all of that and make sure that all that's going into the right place. Um, and that is, I think, one of the amazing things that you folks do. And additionally, also on the employment side, reviewing all the resumes, finding out who's qualified. I mean, I know so many people. You must be flooded, because I know so many people who are looking for employees these days. And I hope they're reaching out to you for help with that.
They are. It is still a challenge, though, having to like parse through all those employees. And even though I think, our employment is not too high right now, a lot of these people it's kind of like a employees market right now. So even if they're working somewhere, they're kind of like looking at their options, like to see if, they can move around, or if there's another company that can offer them more. Living in Hawaii is hard. So, treating your employees the best that you can, I think, is really important to keep those, solid employees in place. And right now, having that opportunity to kind of be an employees market, they can kind of shop around, and utilizing a service like us, they can try it out in a sense.
Yeah.
For both the employee and the employer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done that. I will say, as the Maui Chamber of Commerce, that we utilize your services, and you found us employees, and that then worked for us. You helped us find the right people at that time, and then they worked with us for many years, and so it really is an awesome service. But it is a time when people are, like you said, looking around. It's a very challenging time as businesses are, especially businesses, more tied to our visitor industry, restaurant, retail activities, are really struggling to find people. And so I want to encourage everybody, contact Aloha International Employment, because they can really help it.
I think we have 32 open positions right now.
Wow, yes. 32 open positions. In what range? What kind of things do you have open?
So we don't we pretty much have a wide range. We have weekend work. We have long-term clerical positions. We have in the trades industry, a lot of events and things like that. That will have kind of a time frame that they can do some work here and then they come back later. Yeah, we have restaurant. You name it, we probably have it right now. So,
you got something on the list.
Yeah, anybody can go to alohainternationalemployment.com and check out the employee listings. The girls are pretty good at updating that, and the girls are really good at explaining jobs too. And the great thing about us is, you call our office and we answer the phone and you'll talk to somebody live.
Yes, that's very. It's sad that that is a very important thing, because it used to just be the standard, but it's really nice,
right?
When you're not getting the robocall or press this button or that button and the next button to get to somebody.
Yep, we don't have that. We have our Daisy. We have our Daisy who goes through who you need to talk to.
Yeah, she's got you covered. And we'll make sure you get the call back if the right person is not there at that moment. She's awesome. Tell us a little bit. I'm sure you've been very involved in helping people who are recovering from the wildfires and looking at helping get them in situations that work for them. How are we doing in that arena, as far as you can see, or the work that you've been doing with people, being ready to get back to work, not being ready to get back to work? How are people faring?
I just and I don't see a lot of we haven't seen a lot of Lahaina employees looking for work. If that, because in the beginning we did Anela had gone out and she had worked with a couple other companies, and she did job fairs out there strictly for the Lahaina residents and things like that. But it was, I know maybe it was maybe too early, but I feel like, I actually this weekend I went to Cool Cat Cafe, and it was pretty cool to go there. I mean, it's in Kihei now, but all their employees are still their Lahaina employees. It was great, so
Yeah.
the Lahaina community is really strong, so they really try and pull in, um, who really needs it, and they have those connections. So it was really nice to see a lot of like Lahaina workers working at Cool Cat Cafe this weekend.
I love that story. I continue to hear some of these stories, and it's tough for them because a lot of them lived near where they worked, and it was more convenient. But they loved where they worked, so it's nice that as so many of our businesses that were in Lahaina are trying to get reestablished in new locations across the island. It's so great to see them come back.
It is.
We love those businesses, and we love those employees. And you've got your favorite people that you're used to seeing at Cool Cats, and that just makes all the difference in the world. So that I'm glad that you mentioned that they're back, and you can find them in Kihei because people are moving around.
Yeah, and I know that there's other Lahaina businesses that are doing that, but I mean, it really stood out because I had walked in and I was like, oh wow, this is great, and then talking to some of the workers, they're Lahaina residents.
Yeah, well, I'm always excited when we hear a pivot success story. And get to hear that they're back open and that they're doing good and that they're being found, and that's really important to us. And we want to tell those stories. So if you've had to move your business and you want to let people know, hey, we're here, we're back, we pivoted, please let us know at the Maui Chamber of Commerce, because we want to celebrate your success and your pivot with you and let people know and help others find you. It has been a lot going on in this time, and I remember when we were during COVID, and even at the end of COVID, there seemed to be, but prior to the wildfires, seemed to still be a huge need for CDL drivers. Is that still true?
Well, right now they definitely do, but it seems like not very many companies have called us for CDL drivers, but I've been working with several companies who are doing, some of the work out in the hauling out in Lahaina that, they've opened the business that they're now doing hauling services. So that's what I've kind of seen a lot of, like smaller businesses, that just have a couple employees, or employees that worked for another company, and their passion is to, work with Lahaina. So they opened up a company type of thing for hauling. So, but not really looking for CDL. It's more like they started their own.
Okay, great. Well, that's good to hear. Are there any industries that have big gaps that just kind of call out and say, hey, if you're interested in this area, this is a growing and emerging area?
I guess, I would say it's the restaurant industry that I feel like they really need employees. But even just a lot of the service places, like we have a lot of, retail and service industries that seem to need employees.
Yeah. Well, we want to make sure that we get them to you, and that you folks can help them find placements. And
I mean, anybody who's listening to this, I feel like if they even just have a question and they just want to look before they call our offices, they can always just go to the website, and we update our all of our positions on there on a weekly basis. So. And as they
and the other thing is, though, I know that even if you don't have something posted, if they have an interest, you'll reach. I know you're great at reaching out to people and looking for opportunities.
Yeah. So once you're registered with us, it's pretty cool. We have like a text message service now that, when a new position comes in and if you have some of the criteria, we send out a mass text message. So that's how we work with a lot of our employees. And now, now day and age, everybody rather work off their cell phone on text message than an email. You send an email, you get somebody back in a couple of days, sometimes a couple of weeks. Text message is pretty instant.
I love text messages because, also so that you can, you get these emails sometimes and you're like, who's this and what did I sign up for? But
right.
If you sign up for the text message and hey, if I'm looking for a job and I'm getting this job opportunity, that's really cool. I didn't realize that you had that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That just speeds up the process tremendously.
It does. You just got to move with technology.
Yeah. Well, and I also want to say, we always talk about working with reputable companies. And I know that you folks were a chamber member long before I joined, and I've been around the chamber now 18 years. So you folks have had a long history in this community, and I know you served other islands too.
Yes, we do.
So where are your other offices? I know you've got, how many offices do you have in Honolulu now?
So we just have one office in Honolulu, and then we have our Maui office. We do service the other islands, but we don't have an office there. So we do we'll do visits with them, but everything is pretty remote.
Yeah.
I mean, we're set up to pretty much do everything remote for them too. So, and it's worked for many, many years.
It has. I mean, it really is. I remember when I first, and it was many years ago. How long have you had the Honolulu office?
2009. Yeah, we opened.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been a long time. I just remember one day being downtown in Honolulu for other meetings, and right on the corner there was Aloha International. I went, whoa.
Yeah, we moved from that office. Now we're off of Nimitz.
Perfect.
It has better parking, so if you want to come to the office, there's actually parking over there. Or if you need to pick up payroll, there's parking.
That's important.
To, the Nimitz Center out. Yeah, that's kind of important, and it's very hard to find parking out in Honolulu.
Yeah. Well, I always forget that people still want to pick up payroll. I'm so happy that payroll can just go through electronically and be direct deposited.
Oh, we try. We try. There's still those people out there who they want a paper paycheck.
Yeah. Well, I think I do find for some employees it's a security thing for them. They want to have it in their hand. They want to know they're not on their computer as much as some of us are, and they don't want to be. So I think that's awesome. But I often forget about that. Like, people actually drive in to go pick up the payroll check.
They do. And, we enjoy it because we get these relationships with, our clients and our employees. And, it's just nice to talk story. And, it's the Maui way.
It is. It is the Maui way. And again, you folks have been. When were you established? Because I remember former owner Bob.
1981. Yeah, 1981.
Wow.
Established Aloha International.
Yeah.
And it was actually an office. It was like an office machine / employment agency.
So we helped you at all levels.
Yeah, mind you, that was before I was born, but it was.
Oh my God! 1981 was the year I moved to Maui.
Oh, nice.
Went to high school. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Well, I remember Bob also, who was a great Rotarian. But, I do want to say that through the amazing team that Bob built and the ladies who have continued on, And I say the ladies because you've got a lot of ladies in key positions there who will just continue to run this agency even after he passed, and continue to build the relationships and serve your clients at high levels always. You have been a long-standing, very reputable organization that has helped so many businesses. I can't even fathom how many companies over the years you folks have helped. And I really want to. Yeah, I mean, if you think back from the 80s, I mean, because I know you have a big client load all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just great to see, like we specialize in, smaller companies, and we really like those mom and pops that, we can help, be that, stepping stool for them to grow, a little bit bigger.
Yes. Well, tell people how they can reach out and connect with you.
So we have, AlohaInternationalEmployment.com is, our website, and you can always reach us at our number, which is 808-871-6373, and you can call and text that number nowadays.
That's awesome. And they can drive by and visit you.
Yep. They can.
Easier if you set up an appointment first, but tell them where they can find your Maui office.
Yeah, so we are located at 430 Calais Street, right between the new Pizza Hut and Rent-A-Center, facing Hana Highway.
You can get a lot done there. You can take care of your business, make a dinner, and look at the new furniture you might need for your new office or expanding office.
Yeah. They always have great deals, too. People don't realize that they actually sell new furniture. It's not used. You can get brand new furniture for, it's very conveniently priced. I was very surprised until I worked there.
Well, Jennifer, thank you so much for being on the show this morning. It's always a great pleasure to talk with you, and I look forward to seeing you at our summer celebration coming up on the 12th.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you, and thank you so much for having me.
It's our great pleasure. Aloha. Have a blessed day. Well, folks, that's all the time we have on Business Matters. So thank you for joining us today. We hope you'll join us again next Tuesday, or listen in on the rebroadcast on Friday afternoon from 12:05 to 12:58. It's always a pleasure being with you, and I want to send blessings and aloha and wishes for a wonderful week. Leo.